Welcome to Evilive, the live media commentary show that answers the question, where can we go to see those photos Nadja sent the scammer? Now, I can't remember if I made that part up or not.
I'm drawing a blank, but I
seem to recall her sending like $10,000 and some photos of her feet.
Oh, yeah, her feet. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I wasn't sure. I was just like, is this just like my dream? I didn't even know I was in the feet until I heard that or made it up. In any case, subscribe if you're new to the channel because today we're reviewing What We Do in the Shadows, Season 6, Episode 10, the penultimate episode, The Promotion.
Yeah, it's hard because it was so much fun, and I loved it. Mm-hmm. But as soon as it was over, it's like, I've only got one more.
One more. And not just one more of this season. One more ever.
Period. Like, I'm going to have such a huge void in my life now that I don't know what I'm going to do.
There was that moment at the end, well, like right near the end, when they're all in the elevator, and the monster, Craven's worst monster, is like, kiss.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we could. I was just like, let this be the way they go out. It's right. Just a fucking, it's a elevator orgy. I couldn't think of the word elevator. Wow.
Fair.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah,
oh,
definitely.
God damn, that would have been amazing. Because, we know that not Nandor and Laszlo, they've fucked around. Mm-hmm. That's just what you do when you're a vampire.
Well, and the thing is, like, Laszlo and Colin Robinson have fucked around. Like, we've watched it, so it's like it's not even like weird. Out of the realm of possibility.
That was like a weird body, possession thing. That was so fucked up.
It's like they were gonna wait until after they had sex to put him in his own body again. Yeah,
so weird.
It's so great.
That's what I want for the last episode. Oh, anyway,
it's got to be a vampire orgy, definitely.
Especially when they tease like the Dark Knight, like in Robin at the end of this. Mm-hmm. Like, what the fuck are you going out with that for? Like, I want to see a couple episodes of this playthrough.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's like, man, they're just they're doing it right. They're going out, leaving us wanting more.
Yeah.
But God damn it, yeah, I want a spin-off of that. Like, just them being heroes, but really just being extremely inconvenient. Like almost The Tick, but Nandor and Guillermo.
Yeah. Well, this was directed by Kyle Nowacek. It was written by Jake Bender, Zach Dunn, Amelia Haller, William Manny, and Lauren Wells. Apparently, they couldn't get it right. It premiered December 9. And really, this is just Guillermo's breakup with Canon Capital.
Mm-hmm. And a hell of a breakup it was.
I'm jumping ahead here, but when he pulled out that photo of them, I was just like, oh, shit. He's gonna lose his mind.
Yep, that was exactly it. It's like, it couldn't even make it out of macaroni and glitter. Like, what the fuck, dude? It's like, at least Nandor made his.
Yeah, he took time and effort and craft. Mm-hmm. This dude just put a fucking photo in a frame. Mm-hmm. What a dick.
Yeah.
Personally, I would like to beat the shit out of Jordan just because it would probably be really stress relieving. It would be good exercise.
Yeah, 100%.
100% deserves it. Like, fuck that dude. He's that guy in every office one has ever worked in that's just has way too much confidence compared to his capabilities and does not deserve to be there. And yet he's just like swinging dick around. It makes no sense. All right, so, we're starting with a big party, and Jordan, the boss of Canon Capital, is like, hey, Guillermo, prepare a speech. I'm going to give you something good. And, we're going to celebrate your successes and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so, like, in my head, I'm sure with everyone's in their head, it was just like, okay, well, great. Guillermo's finally getting the comeuppance he deserves. He's been elevated very rapidly throughout this entire business, so this just makes sense to go one extra step, which might be the only sort of cognitive dissonance that we experience in this entire season, because Guillermo's risen so rapidly to find out that Jordan's actually don't give a fuck at the end, that it doesn't really match what he's been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
He's a little odd, but
Yeah,
In
and
any
I
case.
love the fact that Nandor was ready to like fuck his shit up over that.
Yeah. Yeah, of all the people who shouldn't.
Mm.
Because this dude strung him along for over a decade. Like,
Mhm.
how many years was he as familiar?
It was 10 when they were introduced, so I think like 16
Oh
or
my gosh.
15. 14 maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah, 14 is in my mind, but I don't know any truth to that. It was just
Yeah.
like what was floating around.
Yeah, I just naturally assume each season is a year of their existence, so
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
can't confirm that.
So Guillermo's really excited. He's prepping this speech, and we get this really great moment of Jordan's like, "Hey, how about you invite all your friends? You do have friends, don't you?"
Right? It's like, what the fuck is that shit?
I mean, he's been like saying stuff that you really only say around your really good friends. You say stuff that you hope no one's ever going to record and then play back to other people. Or maybe you put in a text chain with a bunch of guys that you just fingers crossed hope they don't take screenshots of and send to other places.
Right.
Because we've never been there before.
No, we wouldn't do that. Absolutely not.
Say horrible, horrible, depraved things that you can never take back. And yet it's just floating out there in the ether, waiting for someone to fuck you over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Guillermo invites the crew, like everyone. And like even Cravensworth's monster, who I love, was a part of this. But because this was sort of like the end, I kind of wanted Sean there. I
Yeah.
wanted the whole gang together, you know?
I thought that was kind of a weird choice to not have Sean there. But then again, it's also like Sean is more Laszlo and Nandor's friend than Guillermo's.
But like not even the
But, yeah.
doll, not even Nadja's like spirit was there.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did want it to be low key, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that would
Like,
be also
the
very
doll
strange.
would be too much. Now, having the monster there, yeah, he's a very well mannered monster, so it's okay. Nadia's doll, though, she can be a bit
how do you
lively.
explain that? Oh, it's like Teddy Ruxpin, but battery, you know, like I don't know, solar powered. Like I don't even know how would you even explain that to people?
Right.
Ridiculous. So a story is Guillermo's getting ready for the speech. He's gonna have this great day. He invites all his friends to share in his glory of this new promotion. And Nadia decides that this is the time to capitalize and just move on and just burn every fucking bridge she has ever not really built at all, but pretend to have built and just burn them all. And I love it so much.
Yeah, the fact that she thinks that if you're going to quit at an office, you have to just decimate everybody in your path is perfect. It's like, that's not how it's done in the real world, but I'll allow it.
Yeah. So funny. And then the ultimate reveal for her was so hilarious when she was talking about sending in the money, sending in the pictures of her fucking feet, and then needing to get like 10 more people in on it.
So goddamn good.
It's just like at that point at the very end of this, it was like a Christmas party, you know, like a movie that is based around the idea of of an office party that just went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But like this is like their real lives, you know, as real as what we do in the shadows is anyway. And like she's standing up there thinking like, I've got all these people in my back pocket. This is going to happen after I just burned every single one of them down.
Yeah.
And then they just mock her openly. And she's kind of like, all right, well, fuck it. Like, what are you going to do? Like, okay, you were had. Like, that's the end. Like, okay, you fucked up. Someone's got your feet.
I will say though, I love that she was carrying her box the whole time, like the tradition or the stereotypical, oh, I'm getting fired, everything's in here, and just going around taking random things. Hey, that's not your desk.
Yeah.
Not anymore. And then at the end where she just reveals that she took one of their heads, like, she really was my favorite. I had to take something.
Oh my gosh. The fucking best. And just seeing her like screaming and shattering windows. She's like, I really have to fuck this place up.
Yeah.
It's like, you fucking go. Like, I've never said this in real life, but I'm going to say it now. You go, girl.
If there was ever a relevant time, it was during this episode, definitely.
Fucking Nodge is the best. And we get this really weird sort of trifecta of Laszlo, Cravensworth's monster. That's like a tongue twister.
Yeah.
And Colin Robinson sort of going back and forth about who's really the one in charge of the monster and who is really the parent. And I loved that Laszlo's like, no, I created this monster. This monster is mine and he will do what I say. Not fully realizing that this monster actually does have feelings and does
Mm-hmm.
think and does, like just in general feel. And
Yeah.
it like goes to the bathroom to fucking cry of all the devastating things.
Yeah, he has Colin hold his hand to the bathroom. It's like, that's so sad and sweet at the same time. And then when Laszlo's just like, he's a monster. He doesn't have feelings. It's like, my dad used to say that too.
Oh,
it's like, fuck, that's so
real. Ouch. No, like the whole holding the hand and going to the bathroom, it immediately took me, and this is a dark memory, but it took me back to my nephew's funeral and me taking my youngest nephew, sort of like half nephew from my half sister, to the bathroom because he was sort of crying. He was very, very little. He's not like a 20-year-old kid that's like just retarded and needs help. He's like a child. So he was like crying, and she was like, I don't want to miss, everything that's happening. I'm like, I can miss it. I'll take him. Like, I'm good. And I just like held his hand as we walked through this Mormon church to find the bathroom, and they're all laid out the same. So
it's always in the most weird fucking spot too.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, Mormons are fucked. Like, they're just weird. Like, what are you going to do? So, he's like doing his thing, and I'm just sort of sitting here staring in the bathroom mirror, and you can sort of hear the hum of people talking, like, up on the podium in this funeral. This brought it right back, like just that sort of feeling of you're super uncomfortable. Someone is really sort of feeling sad and bad about a family member treating them a certain way that created them, and then someone is trying to be supportive, and it was this very awkward sensation that I was experiencing going back to it. But like, I'd watch it again and feel that awkward and weird because it feels real. You know what I mean? I mean, this is all fantasy. It's all made up bullshit, but it feels real, the relationships that they've developed over these years.
Right. That's the crazy thing about this. It's like you watch shit that's based in reality, and it has less feeling of reality than this fucking make-believe documentary about vampires that are just incompetent as fuck. Like, this show has made me feel things the same way that like Reservation Dogs has made me feel things.
Oh man, yeah.
And it's so insane to think about it.
Yeah. I think Reservation hit me a little harder, but
well, I mean, yeah, that shit's definitely a lot rougher, but still, like, the same thing. Like, The Office aside, like, I really can't think of another, television show outside of, like Reservation Dogs or something akin to that has made me really feel real emotions and been like, damn, this is fucking heavy.
Yeah. I mean, Chris, thanks for tuning in. I like your comment here. That conversation between Laszlo and Colin might be the best of any two characters on the whole show. And yeah, it was, and it's one of those conversations that, grounded in fantasy, it makes perfect sense, especially in, the contrived situation. But you can extrapolate that same type of a conversation in someone who's had a very similar type of conversation, partially with myself and partially with my wife, about our kids, of trying to understand, like, this is not a copy of you. It is not a creation that you control. This is a living entity that we created together that has autonomy and its own sense of feelings and right and wrongs and morality. And, your children is what I'm talking about. And in case you couldn't tell, and it's something that I believe it's a natural reaction as a parent to feel like you have some sort of obligation of control over this thing you've created. And the reality is that you have little to none at all. And you really shouldn't, because your job is to prepare it to be on its own, not to confine it in a cage and hold it under your weird rules and bullshit.
Right.
And that's what Laszlo was trying to do with the monster. I may be like going off on a limb here, but that's what Laszlo was trying to do. And Colin was like, no, dude, like, this is a living, feeling creature that we created together. Let's let him be him, And it was just that weird, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Have you ever had an experience similar to that? I mean, it's different with animals than it is with children. And like, I don't know, did that connect with you in any level?
100%. Like, not so much like me as the parent down on the child, like, that shit, again, this shit was like so fucking real, because it's like I had a split family. Like my parents got divorced at 2. Contextually,
They were married at 1, split at 2.
Yeah. But it's like the context of the argument, like not the argument itself, but I guess the feeling of the argument, that's shit that my own parents have had around me. And it is, yeah, I mean, it's a legit thing that happens. Seems fucking common. It's just so crazy, because it's like they're arguing over a fucking creation, like a monster having feelings and shit. And it's like, well, of course, the one parent that's the more nurturing versus the protective one or whatever, like that's going to be their standpoint, and then the other is the other. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, no, I've been a part of arguments like that between my parents. So it's fantasy and it's goofy, but it's like that's also based in reality.
I never thought this was going to be like the point of conversation for this episode, like at all.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, it extrapolates out. Like, if you were ever in like a religious household, Laszlo would have been that dominating religious figure telling you, no, this is how you behave. Stop being the monster, or, you're just a monster. How can I expect you to do anything right, but do this instead? Like anyone who's been in a religious family like that knows exactly what that feels like, because we are literally the monster. And growing up, I genuinely felt like the fucking monster. And even well into my adulthood, my siblings reacted to me as if I was the fucking monster. So much so that they wouldn't let their kids around me because I might like spoil them or something, like in their perception. I mean, it really fucked up and weird stuff. Like I was like that ostracized creature. And to have a parent figure like Colin Robbins, this is a weird sentence I'm about to say. Having a parental figure like Colin Robinson is like needed.
Yeah, 100%.
No one has ever said ever. But like in this context, you need that. You need that person that's going to say, no, this is who it is. Accept it.
Yeah.
And stop trying to make it something that it's not. You have to do that with kids. You have to do that with other individual, like friends and business work, coworkers and just other people in life. You just can't go around trying to control everyone. And I love that we had that bit of catharsis at the end, even though it didn't end in a makeout session in the elevator, which it probably should have. But
I like to think that the last couple floors it did, because we don't see them hit the bottom floor and then walk out. It had to have happened, like, especially with how forceful the monster can be. Like, I feel like if they didn't, he would have grabbed their fucking heads and made them.
I love that there was that one moment when he like goes up to the coworker and he's like squeezing the redhead's head and they're like, no, stop.
Yeah.
I really thought he was going to pop that cherry.
Right. And I was fucking hoping for it. Yeah. I mean, I figured it wouldn't, because, that tends to be frowned on. But man, it was just like, oh, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And then that's how they leave. They're like, oh, okay, I guess it's time to go. Oh, the time.
So I want to talk a little bit about the ridiculousness that is everyone else, not just the vampires in this, because the vampires come in as part of Guillermo's friends to this normal, I mean, I don't even think it's normal, but this office party situation that's like a couple midget throwings shy of Wolf of Wall Street. It's like like they aspire to that, but they're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
And like, who's the weird one? Like, how every single one of them bought that. Oh, that's not Nandor. That's not the custodian that we fired. That's his twin. Okay. Like, everyone just accepts everything.
I mean, a change of clothes will do that, I guess.
I mean, of course, it's no pick in the teeth, which is a flawless disguise.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even realize it.
Start teaching volleyball and everyone forgets who the fuck you are. But yeah, I just, how stupid is everyone, or how little does anyone ever pay attention to anything? And is this just like supposed to be for comedic value? Are they trying to make some sort of like overarching statement about office culture? Is this just a laugh? Like, do you think they're trying to do anything deep with this?
If it was any other show, I would say no. With this one, I would not be surprised if it was, because I mean, it kind of hits on all of that. It's funny. It's a play on just how up their own ass these kinds of people are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
The only thing that would have set me off edge of this whole episode would be to have like Patrick Bateman like in the background, you know,
Right?
like
I'm
American
actually
Psycho.
kind of surprised because that seems like the kind of shit they'd have done.
Yeah, it would have been the most amazing thing, and I would have just lost my shit.
Right.
It'd been like one of those videos of like kids watching someone do magic, and they just start screaming and pulling their hair out. Like that would have been me 100%.
Yeah, I think I probably would have reacted way more to that than even when Eric Northman was in the last episode or whatever.
But I mean, to pay off my point, that I felt like last episode very much was a commentary about them and the show and what it's like to be in, you know, Hollywood and stuff. I mean, I do feel like they were making a social statement. And so with this, maybe it's just me reaching, and I'm okay if it's just me reaching, but it does feel like they're sort of making a statement as well. Ultimately, Guillermo doesn't get his, you know, sort of 15 minutes of fame in the office. And
yeah, because that was the whole point of this. It was a party for Guillermo.
Yeah, supposedly. Ended up being like this merger thing. And then Guillermo sort of confronts the boss, Jordan. He's like, hey, you said I was going to get this. And clearly Nandor had already spoken to Jordan about this. And Jordan's like, no, you just need to like string him along. And he's telling Nandor everything that Nandor has already done to Guillermo. Mm-hmm. But now that it's after the fact, Nandor has distance and perspective, and he genuinely cares about Guillermo. He's like, no, fuck this dude. This is a bullshit. Like, I need to tell fucking Guillermo what's up. And Guillermo refused to believe him, and he took it all personal and sort of verbally assaulted Nandor. And then when it comes to fruition, Guillermo sort of loses it. Like, he's just gone.
Yeah, I loved that he was getting ready to fucking stake him.
Oh, man.
It's like, who hasn't had a boss like that?
Unleash the fury. That would have been amazing. But Nandor just gets in there and almost pulls a Scrooged on his ass. Mm-hmm. Like pushes him through the fucking glass and shit. I was hoping for that sort of, it's the season and stuff. I kind of
I kind of thought that was going to happen too.
Yeah. But whatever. It was still really, really fun. And when he said, let him go, he like threw him across the room, and the dude's like, fuck this. Like, you know, telling the camera crew, thinking he's still in charge of the camera crew, which is ludicrous that he even any of them can believe any of this shit is ludicrous, but that he feels like he's in control of his camera crew, which is clearly not paying any attention to him ever. It's always on Guillermo, was hilarious. And then ultimately they leave, and Nandor is like, look, I don't want to lose you. Talking to Guillermo, like, we need to stay together, and, you know, maybe we can do something where we're like crime fighters or something. Yeah. He's like Batman? Never heard of him.
Yeah, I love, like, that joke is so stupid and overplayed at this point, but I love it every time it happens.
Yeah. I mean, we had it with Frankenstein. Might as well have it with Bruce Wayne. Why not?
Yeah, that shit was funny.
Chris has tried the twin excuse himself. No one bought it. They asked if your twin was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Stings. Twins. It's not like the movies. Yeah. I love the idea of them living a vampire life and like solving crime or something like.
Yeah, and it makes no sense at all, especially with the amount of crime that happens because of the vampires. But I love that. It's just, you know, again, it reminds me of a superhero akin to like the Tick. Mm-hmm. Just bumbling doofus that tries to do good, but that's about it.
Yeah. And in the end, Guillermo's there for it. Like, this is his family, you know, even more so than his actual family. Like, what they've gone through, the shared experience and the traumas and the brief moments of joy. I don't know. Like, there's love there, you know? And I think that's what a lot of us discover early on in life and sort of celebrate later on. Me, earlier today on a text chain with you, where, you know, family actually ends up becoming who you choose it to be, who you carve space out for. That's your family. And it ends up being infinitely more impactful and meaningful and emotionally resonant, you know? And that's what they have in this. They have a genuine dysfunctional as fuck, insane vampire fucking monster family. And it's beautiful. And I don't want it to end.
100% beautiful.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's God. And that's the thing is, man, they keep just twisting the little corkscrew in your heart of like, oh, there's so much sweetness in this show. And it's like, but you're taking them from me. Make me hate them. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Right. Like, if the 80s has taught me anything with the movies, you're supposed to hate the person and then they leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just easier that way.
We don't want you here, Harry. Get out of here, Harry.
God damn it. Fucks me up every goddamn time.
It's so sad because everyone wants him there.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. All right. Did you have a favorite part of this episode? What was it? If so.
Oh man. Fuck. It was hard because there's so many good points. Like, I mean, top two, definitely Nadia's feet pics. Much like you, something I never thought I was into, and then it's like, I'd buy them.
Yeah.
And then just Nandor coming in to fuck Jordan up. Like, that was just like, God damn it. Like, you want to, like, fist pump in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so good.
I really, like, more than I thought I would, really liked Cravensworth's monster trying to force his parents to make out.
That shit was pretty fucking
because,
funny.
like, no kid wants to see that. Ever.
Right.
Like, here, mom and dad, make out in front of me. No one wants that. You're always like, stop.
Yeah, that's fucking funny. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that is 100% true.
It's the most awkward thing. And Laszlo's like, no, that's ridiculous. And Colin's like, oh, we could. I wish they would have just stopped right there and just had that be like, go to black and then open the doors so that we don't know the outcome. It was just left in the air. Because we've had so many
buttoning up
stuff.
their shirts on the way out.
Someone's like doing a zip of their pants.
That'd be great.
And the look on Nadja's face too. She was just like, fuck. They're going to make out. Like, because usually like everyone's like super weirdly okay with all their deviant behaviors and stuff. But in that moment, she had like this weird look. She was like, not Colin Robinson, please. Anyone but Colin Robinson. Fuck Gizmo before you fuck Colin Robinson.
Right.
Even though we've seen him literally be fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, I still burned in the back of my eyelids. Can't unsee it. Did you have a least favorite moment in this episode?
I mean, other than just being reminded that this is the second to last episode.
Yeah. Is there any chance that you feel satisfied when it ends?
Initially, probably not. Because that does seem like a bit of a tall order. Like, what the fuck are they going to do? Because on one hand, I mean, look at Seinfeld. They, on paper, had the best ending ever, and everybody hated it.
Yeah.
So it's like I could see them doing something like that, but also this is the kind of show where that kind of, the winking at the audience, it would kind of work. But I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I genuinely feel like I'll be satisfied with the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'll be satisfied with the ending of the show. And not just because the show's ending, but because there's no way to like put a pretty bow on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's the thing I keep trying to like think about. It's like, how are they? Because ultimately the season was to close out everybody's story. And, I mean, thinking about it after the fact, a lot of people's shit has been closed out. But how satisfyingly, that's the degree that varies. So I'm interested to see. Yeah, I really don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
There's going to be a huge vacuum in programming, too, because there's nothing like this.
Mm-mm.
I don't think there's ever been anything like you sort of had the comedic version of Dark Shadows come out as a film, but that was nothing like this.
Yeah, and that was fucking sucked anyways.
Yeah, I mean, so like this is a sort of a once in a lifetime type of show that we were fortunate enough to have a film made that shouldn't have been made that was amazing, and then a series after it for 6 fucking seasons that shouldn't arguably have been made, but it fucking fired on all cylinders. It was hilarious. It was endearing. It made you want more. And now it's ended. Like we have 1 episode left and it's just hollow. Like,
yeah.
Any storyline that you would want wrapped up in the finale? I can't.
Blood rave. We need to have the blood rave finally.
Sprinklers working?
Yep.
For fuck's sake, that'd be dope. I would love to have a
granted, the
satisfying
building burned
orgy.
down, so they couldn't, but yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what's left open right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything does seem like it's sort of wrapped up. Everyone's back together. Everyone feels a semblance of contentment. They're no longer struggling with each other. The relationships are all as normal as they've ever been.
Yeah, and actually, this was the closeout. Like, if you think about it, because Colin's not alone anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Nadia and Laszlo fixed their shit for the time being, at least for another like 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
This was really Nandor finishing up his arc, which, of course, I saw it as being like him ending up with the guide. And then she, funny enough, like shot that the fuck down.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
Yeah. I mean, I guess really everybody else is tied off. I mean, Sean came to terms with death. Baron Afanad is back to being feared. Oh God, what the fuck is the gargoyle's name? Whatever. Anyways, Baron Afanad's roommate has kids now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like everybody's
Hilarious.
finished off. So, yeah,
fucking hilarious. Just seeing him like rocking.
So fucking great.
It's amazing.
And then one pukes in Baron Afanad's hand. Oh, Doily gets him. It's like, that's just
so
golden,
much.
man.
I love this show so much. What if they did a spoof on the Red Wedding ending? Oof. I don't know. Do you understand that reference, the Red Wedding?
I know what it's from, but I never saw it. So I don't know.
I don't know how they would do that. They've already sort of done like the monster murdering everyone thing.
Mm-hmm.
They've done the Guillermo murdering everyone thing. I don't know how you would do that. I don't know how you could pull that off. I mean, I'm here for it if they could, but I don't know how that would work. Ultimately, I just I don't know. I want to feel something. I want to miss it more. But it's like love, where once it's gone, it hurts. Like
man, this
hurts.
This is when you got one of your classmates that you're really close with moving out of state.
Yeah,
it's like you just know it's happening.
Yep.
At the end of the school year, they're never fucking seeing them again. That's this.
All right. On that high note.
Yes, the sire. Thanks, Chris.
On that super fucking high note. Anything else you wanted to cover with this?
No, man, we definitely got it.
All right. Well, let us know what you all thought of the promotion that wasn't. And did you think that Laszlo and Colin Robinson should have made out? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you didn't, why?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
That's the important part.
There's a hole in your heart. You need to put something in it. Put the monster's penis in it or something. I don't know. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, remember that evil spelled backwards is live. So get out there and be evil.
And throw signs through windows.
Every chance possible.
That was so goddamn funny.
Throws it way the fuck up there.
I was hoping for a really light thud and ow, like in the back.